Hello, this is my brand new channel, aka Son of the Mad Hatter. Yeah, Justin is my name. This is my brand new channel. I'll be bringing hopefully one video a week, or maybe two. We'll just see how it first start. Yeah, so I like to start with a bad housemate story. So my husband and I, we moved in, we bought a house, and so I was working at a good job, bringing good money in. So we bought a house. So we moved in 2018, end of April. Long story with the real estate, just drama. Anyway, so my story starts roughly about end of July. So we kind of met this girl through a friend, but she warned us about her. Anyway, my husband at the time asked her to come and move, but halfway between her house and the other house she was living. So anyway, she kind of moved in the following week, and I thought it's just her. And anyway, next minute she brought a boyfriend, one of her boyfriends anyway. So we'll go back to that just soon. Anyway, so things were going alright. Drama for the first week. Lucky I was doing afternoon shifts, so I wasn't here. But in the morning I was, but we had a bit of drama from her old house, money owed and crap like that. Anyway, so everything was going alright, and then when we had two cars at the time, my husband was sort of roping to drive this ex-housemate. I'm going to call her Mary Bob, because what else can you call her? Anyway, how do I put it? She used a situation where she kind of used my husband in driving her and her boyfriend around. And her and her boyfriend, yeah, they were pretty tight-knit, right? Anyway, so on the first Friday, this guy came over, Mary Bob's boyfriend, we'll call Scott. Anyway, Scott asked this guy John come over, where he used to live in his boarding house before he moved in here. Anyway, I said to the guy, you need to leave, because no one's talking to you or anything like that, and they didn't want to talk to him anymore. But they didn't want to say anything, they just kept to themselves in the room, and my husband and I had to talk to him, and it's like, mate, you gotta go. Anyway, so a couple of weeks go on, things were going on, driving her to and from. Anyway, it was only 3 months into without staying here, and one night, go back a couple of times. When we wake up, in the spare room, there's always 20 people, and we wonder how they get in. Anyway, so no rent was paid, and we noticed our food going missing, like our snacks and stuff like that, and drinks that we have. And then I started locking the snacks away, and our wallets and cigarettes and everything like that. And anyway, in that time, Scott's daughter came down to see where he lives, and Mary Bob used to go to the bowling club around the corner. So this went on for a while, and then roughly about towards, I can't remember if it was beginning of September or end of September, and things were getting hectic. So one night, the day that Scott got arrested again. and because he was on parole and you had to, make sure clean your iron and everything like that. But we didn't know until recent before he got locked up. Anyway, Mary Bob, this Saturday morning, so my husband and I went shopping. Then we get a phone call from Mary Bob saying that things are drama at home. So we come back, the shovel was out the front, the broom was broken, so we went and got Mary Bob to find what's going on, so we made Scott walk home. But anyway, so this day, so I confronted Scott at the door and I told him this is our house and we don't want any drama, and he broke down. Basically I broke him, and he tried all the macho Zeno tactic, didn't work because mental health nurse, and tough on that. So anyway, so the morning went on, so Mary Bob went with my husband to the chemist and do what they need to do. Anyway, I spoke to Scott, made him come in, sorted him all out, and then he was sitting on the patio, and next minute my husband came back and dropped Mary Bob off at the bowling club, and next minute the police turned up and arrested him. And I asked what's going on. Anyway, they basically can't tell me, being the owner of the house and everything like that, and found out that he had dirty urine. And I knew it was going to happen. But in the meantime, we didn't know this, but it was all a scam in the morning. Because why Mary Bob went to the bowling club, she set her boyfriend up, Scott. So her other boyfriend was getting out that day, so arrest Scott, and her other boyfriend, who was locked up, is coming out. Anyway, so Mary Bob told lies about a lot of things. So we used to have a good friend. When we moved in, we met across the road, she was looking after us, and Mary Bob was trying to lie to us and everything like that, but I knew, sort of, seeing through it. And I told our friends across the road where they moved to. Anyway, that Saturday night, she went for a drive with this guy we'd seen a couple of times. Anyway, Mary Bob and her boyfriend, who just got out, one of her boyfriends anyway, stole the car and took off, and this guy we know was trying to make sure they were okay, but they took off. They never had no license. Anyway, Mary Bob stole money off us, and she never came back, and we knew something was up. So that day on, she never came back. We never seen her, but text messages and Facebook messages and all that. But I knew that this kind of was going to happen, because Mary Bob is not a nice person. She's a user, and plus she sets people up, if you know what I mean. But she's not that kind of person anymore, because no one's going to listen to her lies, because all it is just lies and setting people up. And anyway, in the meantime, her ex-boyfriend, who just got arrested, had a urine infection, but it was a sexual transmitted disease from Mary Bob. And then Mary Bob has diseases, really, and wouldn't let her boyfriend at the time go and see the doctor or anything like that, because she was worried. She knew that if he goes and get tested, she knew it was going to come back to her. They always fight. Anyway, so we argued. So from then on, we never seen her at all. So a month or two, we just done texts and all that. month or two, she was around, let's put it that way. And then we met people, and we're good friends with a couple of people that she's friends with, but they're not friends with her anymore, they're friends with us, because they like us. Anyway, so that happened, and then her good friend who lived around the corner, her name's Amanda, and her boyfriend, who was 21, come and stayed, for the weekend, because they just got kicked out, being nice. And a couple of nights into it, on the Saturday morning, it was my day off, and to her rest and everything like that, and Amanda's boyfriend wanted a house meeting. Anyway, he tried to tell us how to live our lives, and I wasn't having a bar of that, and I was pretty annoyed and pissed off, really. And I told him hold up, and then I let it go, and went off at him. And he said, I'm a 21-year-old, this is his words, mind you, Amanda's boyfriend, turned around and said, I'm a 21-year-old, I'm a man. But as he was saying that, he was crying like a baby, because he thought he could intimidate my husband and I, but it doesn't work. And they don't like it, because they've been in trouble with the law and all that, and you think he was trying to clean his act up. Anyway, time went on, and it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks. So Amanda's boyfriend, the 21-year-old, every time I was at work, he used to ring the police after they had a fight, and he wanted to go back to prison. Institutionalized, And it's like, what do you want to go back for? You're out. You need to grow up and start acting like a human being, part of the society. Anyway, so in the meantime, they've been using our home phone. So we got a bill, and it was roughly, probably over $100, I think. Anyway, so, and then Amanda brought a friend over, stay here and all that, Dolly. Then her boyfriend picked her up, and and then everything started going downhill. So Amanda's boyfriend moved up the road. He used to take things and steal from here and take stuff, and we know it was him, because he's a kleptomaniac. So anyway, he put a dent in the car, tried to choke Amanda in the car as well while Steve was driving. And he doesn't like when he's being confronted by stronger personalities like ourselves and my husband. Anyway, so time went on, and we put up with the crap for a long time. Same thing, not paying rent like they're supposed to, and buying food, but we were buying food for, and they were eating it. So we weren't having this anymore. So the following week, on the Wednesday morning, they had a big domestic. Put 2 holes in the wall in the spare room. Big holes, mind you. So her boyfriend put a knife to her and everything like that, but she egged him on. You could see it. In 2 cases of the bad housemates, the females always caused the fights between them, because they knew they could fight them too. Except Mary Bob. Anyway, so all the 4 housemates had criminal records. Anyway, so did Dolly, apparently, now. So anyway, Dolly went home, and then the cops turned up, wanted to put charges, and it's like, yeah, we do, but we want him to sort it out first. So that day, he was very childish, mind you. So Steve and I got him, my husband and I chased him out of the house. We watched him walk right off up to the road, he was fine. So I called the cops, and then he came back, and he was injured. It was his mum. It was all weird, anyway. So the cops were here, but before the cops turned up, and before the actual last blow, I actually talked the boyfriend down with a knife, and I was pretty happy with that. But the second time you couldn't because he had dark eyes. So after that, Dolly's. So Amanda kept coming back and using us, playing her games. And anyway, after things happened with the domestic and all that, she brought this guy in, mind you, who was sleeping with Mary Bob as well. And found out later they were both, Mary Bob and this guy was doing fraud, credit card fraud. So it was alright for a couple of days, for a day or two, and then he kept staying here. And I was getting jack of it, so was my husband. And this day, he turned around and said, "Oh, I had to go and buy my own food because there's nothing here." It's like, and my husband turned around and said, "Do you pay anything for here? Do you pay rent or anything like that?" And he goes, "No." Anyway, I left it. So I gave him the marching orders next day. So he left his clothes here. They took off, and I was going to work. And before I went to work, I said to him, "You got to leave. You got to be away from our property." This guy would not listen to what we had to say. Anyway, I was out there going off at him, and when the cop, so after that, so we told him he wasn't allowed on the property. And anyway, before I left, I said to the guy, Amanda's new boyfriend or whatever, who was sleeping with Mary Bob, I said to him, "When I get back from work, you need to be gone off the property and never come back." Oh, it was drama, like he never left. So anyway, I got a text message from Amanda saying, "Can I let such and my new boyfriend come over?" And I went, "No," because I knew the game plan. So anyway, she lied to Steve, my husband, about this guy, and I knew, and I wasn't happy. So we kicked him out. Anyway, we rang the police to tell them that this is what's happened, and they said he was violent. And I went, "Violent? Yeah, right." And here I was out there going off at him. So for a whole week we rang the police and everything like that. One night I knew something was up because I sneaked out there and sneaked back, and I listened because I knew something was up. Anyway, we found out that he was in the room. So that night, Mary Bob's clothes were outside because she's finally come to pick up the crap after she was going off saying that people were wearing her clothes and everything, but that was a big joke that we had. So anyway, after all that, Amanda left, came back, and this day I just kicked her out. I said, "Nah, you're not coming back because you don't pay rent." Then Dolly came and brought her kids and her ex-partner, the baby's father and all that. He stayed for a while, about to Christmas. Anyway, Dolly was meeting Amanda one night over in North Ipswich, and it was funny. And then we found out that Amanda was enticing Dolly to do crime, and she gets something out of it. Anyway, so Dolly moved somewhere else. Her ex-partner was here, and then she had another partner at Redland Bay somewhere. Just drama. Anyway, Dolly never came back after she paid her money and then wanted it back, and then she left, and then Amanda never came back. And Dolly's ex-partner was still here. He left, bought a car and picked Dolly up and took her out to the parents' place and all that. Never seen him for 3 months. Anyway, so in the meantime, we had Mary Bob's ex-boyfriend. So he wanted to leave Mary Bob, and so he moved back in. The daughter came down. The night before, when he got out, guess who stayed the night? And she knew she wasn't allowed to. And she knew what was going on because Scott got money after he came out of prison. So he went to Centrelink and all that. So anyway, he stayed here and she stayed here as well. And it's like, okay, so you're sleeping with Mary Bob's boyfriend twice, who's the other one, and you're passing diseases around without using condoms. It didn't make sense because they're keeping it all in the circle. Next morning, my husband and I planned to take Scott shopping. Guess who came along? Amanda, again. So I went off and said, no, you're not coming back again. Anyway, Scott had the nerve, I should say, asked if Amanda could come back tonight. I went, no, she's not. Anyway, so it was all good that night. We played games and went to bed, and then we talked. And then the next morning, on the Wednesday, we had his daughter coming down, Scott's daughter. Anyway, her friend. They weren't staying or anything like that. Mind you, guess who knew he was back? Mary Bob. So anyway, he took off to talk to her around the park, around the site near our place. So I took the daughter and her friend in the car to drive around there. Well, he went off at me and said, stay out of it, try to intimidate me, but it didn't work. I was on the phone to my husband on speaker, and Scott turned around and said, what are you calling the police now, are you? And I went, no, I'm talking to my husband. So anyway, I took the boyfriend of the best friend of the daughter around back home because the daughter was up in Mary Bob. Anyway, so next minute, Scott came back, the daughter came back, and so did it, and the friend was still here. Anyway, turns out, I thought, hang on, something's not right here. And guess who was in the house? And she knew she wasn't allowed to be here. Mary Bob. So I kicked her out. She said, I don't want any trouble. And it's like, you will be getting trouble because you're trespassing. And you know you're not meant to be on this property. Anyway, I said, get out of the house. And it was raining, and Scott goes, can we talk on the patio? And I went, no. Tell her, get on the footpath. I don't care what happens then. It was raining, and that was it. Never seen them again. And then we met these lady called Wendy through them, and it was drama. And she's blaming Mary Bob and stuff like that. And Christmas time she came here and she tried to tell us that Mary Bob was in the car and everything like that, telling me. And it's like, yeah, whatever. I didn't want to go out. Anyway, so not Christmas is gone, but the Christmas before, in 2018, or New Year's anyway, when he came over and explained, and when he was annoying, she came over twice or three times anyway. And lucky for our family that was here, that we're really good friends with as well, their family friends as well, her and her fiance were here. Anyway, this Wendy tried to come in the house telling the dogs to be quiet, and our family friend went off at her, and it was like, great. Anyway, and I knew something was up. Anyway, so it was last year sometime, after our family's friends moved into the family home, Wendy came back, and it was a time when Mary Bob got out, and I knew something was fishy. It was like that they were checking on us, because Mary Bob went to jail for 6 months. So did her boyfriend that Amanda was seeing. They got arrested at the train station by one single female, security or police or something. It was great, because they never came back. My question is, why is Mary Bob lying to the police, and he's spending a short time in prison, then coming back out, doing the same things she's doing, selling, and it's like, it was just annoying. And she kept coming by the property with her boyfriend Scott. It's like, oh no, you can't have that. So now we've got security cameras, and when she got out, I'd never seen her, but people had seen her, and then my husband seen her in front of the house. I thought, okay, because Mary Bob knows that I know everything that she's done, and who she's ripped off, and everything like that. And I'll tell you, people are not happy. But why is the justice system letting her come out after 6 months? What has she learnt? Nothing. People come out and some people change, and we've seen that. But people like Mary Bob never change. She's still doing her same shit again. But one funny thing is, people know that what she does, and that's how she gets out. Not happy about it, because she should be locked up, because fraud is maximum 2 years, and she should have got that. And she had drugs, and her criminal evictions should have put her back into jail for a very long time. But no, she's out walking the street again. But it's not really right, because what is she learning? Nothing. All the lies and everything like that to the police is perjury. That's another charge. And I know way too much on Mary Bob. So the people only do 6 months, they're not learning nothing. Let's be honest. They're doing the same thing again. And I know it frustrates some police officers as well. But no more. If she's going to harass us, she should be locked up and throw away the key. Let's be honest. She lies about everything. So it all links up together. So going back to Wendy, who came here one day, apparently she was checking on my husband because he was in pain. And I said to her one day, when she turned up, I said, "What do you want?" "He's alright, he's fine." I said, "Oh, where's your friend? Have you contacted Mary, Bob, and Scott?" "Oh, I'm not friends with them." It's like, yeah, you are. And we know, because my husband had to drop her off one day at her house. So it was just a lie that she was on. And never she came back, because she's not allowed on the property. Because after that, when you come and check on us or spy on us, we know there's something up. So yeah, so anyway, and then it's like, yeah, it's just